Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Jerica, and what I find so endearing about Troy, Philippines is how warm it is as a community. Especially with this being my first semester here at USC, I think it's kind of crazy how fast I found a place here in Troy Phi. And honestly, I wouldn't have met my best friend if not for Troy, Philippines. And I feel very strongly about wanting to give back to Troy, Philippines, especially for welcoming me with open arms, and for creating such a wonderful space where members can feel comfortable being themselves and also just genuinely enjoy themselves. And so, with that said, I want to make sure that others, not just prospective members, not just members here, but members in general, or like the general USC community, has the same positive sentimentality that I hold about Troy, Philippines. And thankfully that opportunity was open for me when I was nominated for programming director. And with that said, I'm fully aware of the magnitude of this position, but I'm not intimidated at all by the challenges I would have to face if I were elected for this position. And for now, I'd like to present some of the ideas that I have for the coming year. First of all, I think it would be a good idea to move the general members retreat to the fall semester, as there were some comments about not wanting to pay for both the general members retreat and the banquet in the span of 2 months. And logically, I think it would make a lot of sense as well to have community-oriented events at the end of both semesters to lead into the next one. So cyclically, that would be a yearly fostering of community at Troy Phi. Secondly, Filipino History Month is coming up in October, and I think it would be really fun to have it art-oriented. And so for 1 week, we could have a culinary arts day where we could all come together and like grab lumpia or turon and have cups of sago and talo and halo-halo, which we could prepare for the next week, which might be a media arts day where we come together and watch a Filipino movie or a TV show and enjoy the food that we prepared that last week. And then we can also have a visual arts day where we'd have different workshops that we can make cool, like decorations that you could have at your house. Like for example, I think it would be cool to have a baybayin workshop. And if you don't know what baybayin is, it's the Filipino script that people used to use before the Philippines was colonized by Spain. And so I think it's a really beautiful language, and so if we had like stencils that we could paint like things on, it'd be cool to like hang up in your room and stuff. But what I'd be most interested in bringing to you guys is a guest speaker, and I don't know if you've heard of Ruby Veridiano, but she's a very talented Filipino-American writer, TV host, and also spoken word artist who I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of years ago. And Ruby Veridiano is all about social responsibility and women empowerment. And honestly, listening to her speak changed my life, and so I think it would be a really good opportunity for Troy Phi to listen to her speak, because it's not just important as Filipino-Americans to know where your heritage is in the Philippines, but also to know the status of Filipino-Americans in society today. And Ruby Veridiano is the perfect example of somebody who came up from humble beginnings and became somebody that she's not afraid to show the world. And so, I mentioned earlier that this is only my first semester here in Troy Phi, but what I lack for in experience, I can and I would make up for in drive and ambition. I'm detail-oriented and I'm mature with my handling of stress, especially knowing that this position is heavy with responsibility. I'm not afraid to seek for help if I do need it. And especially the board, knowing the board is here to serve you, I'm also open to implementing any ideas that you would like for the following year. I want what you all want, and I'm beyond willing to contribute to a board that will continue to make Troy, Philippines a community that you are all proud to identify with. Thank you.
So the 3-minute Q&A.
Yeah. Whoever wants to ask a question first.
How will you improve the Kuya academic system?
The Kuya Ate Aring program that you implemented, I think or that you ran this year, I think was really successful, especially or to me personally, because I'm very, with my Ate Michelle, I felt a really strong connection, and I think that among the other members as well, they're happy with who they're matched with. So, if you would help me with it, or if I were elected, that would be cool.
So for Kuya Ate program, as the person who runs it, you would have to be you'd have to have a strong sense of how people get along,
Right.
When not. What do you think you would bring for that aspect of the program?
I know it's not a tangible thing to say that I'm very perceptive, but I believe that I am.
What other leadership positions have you held before?
Before moving to LA for school, I held the positions of president and treasurer at my youth group back in San Francisco, and so I do have experience organizing community service events and fundraising events, and so I'm very confident that I can bring those skills to Troy Phi as well.
Anything else?
How will you plan for events if you didn't have a house or a place to hold it in next year?
What do you mean?
So like, if you're planning an event but you didn't have a space for it, where would you go?
I would start by asking around first if there's a place that people generally go to, but if not, then I would go directly to places themselves and ask, oh, are you open for this day? And then if they are, then I would ask the specific events, like what do you need me to tell you, like do I have to do an application, or how long do I have to let you know before I can use it?
Anything else? Okay, thanks, Jerica.